African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of April 19, 2025. Yesterday evening, the armed forces of the Russian Federation carried out a group strike with land and sea-based high-precision weapons and unmanned aerial vehicles at the testing site of the Ukrainian Operational Tactical Missile System, Sapsan, and the NASAMS anti-aircraft missile systems made in Norway that cover it. The strike's objectives were achieved. All objects were destroyed. Units of the North Group of Forces in the Belgorod direction inflicted defeat on formations of 3 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Popovka, Miropolye in the Sumy region and UD in the Kharkov region. The Ukrainian armed forces lost up to 45 servicemen, 2 armored combat vehicles, and a field artillery gun. Units of the West Group of Forces occupied more advantageous lines and positions. They defeated the manpower and equipment of 2 mechanized Ranger brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements of Popovka, Stetskovka, Gorkovatka, Kupiansk, Sadovod in the Kharkov region, Kirovsk, Redkadub in the Donetsk People's Republic, and Novoyegorovka in the Luhansk People's Republic. The enemy lost up to 265 servicemen, a tank, 4 combat armored vehicles, including a US-made M113 armored personnel carrier, 7 vehicles, 3 field artillery guns, a Quartus electronic warfare station, and 2 ammunition depots were destroyed. As a result of decisive actions by units of the Southern Group of Forces, the village of Shevchenko in the Donetsk People's Republic was liberated. Concentrations of manpower and equipment of heavy mechanized, 3 mechanized, motorized infantry, 2 assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and 2 territorial defense brigades were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Ivanopolye, Grigorovka, Vasyukovka, Zaria, Kleben Byk, Konstantinovka, and Novolanovka of the Donetsk People's Republic. The losses of the Ukrainian armed forces amounted to more than 365 servicemen, 2 tanks, 8 combat armored vehicles, including an HMMWV armored car and an M113 armored personnel carrier made in the United States, 13 vehicles, 7 field artillery pieces, including 4 made by NATO countries, a USMR's multiple launch rocket system launcher, and 2 ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the Center Group of Forces improved their position along the front line. They defeated formations of 3 mechanized, assault, and Ranger brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, a Marine brigade, and 2 National Guard brigades in the areas of the settlements of Dmitrov, Grodovka, Lysovka, Bogdanovka, Krasnoarmysk, and Miropolye of the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost up to 350 servicemen, 6 armored combat vehicles, including an HMMWV armored car and an M113 armored personnel carrier made in the United States, a Marder infantry fighting vehicle made in Germany, and a VAB armored personnel carrier made in France. 5 vehicles, 2 field artillery guns, and an American and /TPQ-48 counter-battery station were destroyed. Units of the East Group of Forces continued to advance into the depths of the enemy's defense. They defeated the manpower and equipment of 2 mechanized Ranger brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Zelenoy-Pole, Bogodar, Novopol of the Donetsk People's Republic, Chervon, and Guliapol of the Zaporizhia region. The enemy lost more than 130 servicemen, 3 armored combat vehicles, 5 cars, and 2 artillery pieces. Units of the Dnieper Group of Forces defeated formations of 2 coastal defense brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Algovka, Antonovka, Nikolskoye, and Dniprovskoye in the Kherson region. Up to 80 servicemen, a Turkish-made Kirpi armored combat vehicle, 5 vehicles, 3 field artillery pieces, 2 electronic warfare stations, and an ammunition depot were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops and artillery of the groups of troops of the armed forces of the Russian Federation hit ammunition depots and military technical property of the Ukrainian armed forces, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian armed formations in 142 districts. Air defense systems destroyed 6 JDAM guided air bombs and 3 U.S.-made HIMARS multiple launch rockets, as well as 151 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 661 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 52,743 unmanned aerial vehicles, 604 anti-aircraft missile systems, 22,947 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,542 combat vehicles of multiple launch rocket systems, 23,874 field artillery pieces and mortars, 34,352 units of special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.